My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set podcast. On today's podcast, we're talking to Mario Cantone, who's on the hit series And Just Like That, which is a revival, sequel, reboot, whatever you feel like calling it, of Sex and the City. So the series follows Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte as they navigate the journey from their complicated reality of life and friendship in their 30s to the even more complicated reality and life of their friendship in their 50s. And of course, you can't do any of that without Anthony. So to talk about his journey from Sex and the City into And Just Like That, and where we could find him from season 1 to season 2, because he has a very juicy storyline, here is the one and only Mario Cantone. I am so happy to have you on here. I love you so much. I've loved you for such a long time. I feel like you've been on my TV forever. So I'm so happy to meet you.
I've been around for a long time. Yeah. It's been a long, long, winding road. The long and winding road. That's my favorite Beatles song.
Is it
Long and Winding Road? Oh, yeah. If I had to pick one, that's the one.
That's the one. My mom loves the song. It's a good one. It's
a good one. It's a sad song.
Yeah. I think we tend to lean, I feel like, towards that. I feel like you lean emotionally. We connect to things like that.
To sad stuff. Yeah, well, of course, it even when you're not depressed, it makes you feel.
Yeah.
There are days you walk around numb and you walk around just kind of compartmentalizing a lot of things and going, no, push that away.
Right.
Denial is actually a healthy thing when used in the right ways because it gets you through shit.
Yeah.
I mean, not denial about who you are, but denial about certain things. It's like, okay, I'm not going to think about that. That's not happening.
No, I agree. I think like that can definitely help for certain things in life to kind of
certain things. Yes.
Yeah, to move you forward because otherwise you get caught. So.
Oh yeah.
But so like I said, I love you so much, and we could probably go in total rants because I just like adore you. But I will have to bring up, obviously, so we want to talk about And Just Like That. But before we get there, you have been a part of the dynasty that is Sex and the City.
Yes.
So how has your kind of version and your experience of Sex and the City changed from like year one through to
it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot because, in the original, I mean, may he rest in peace, my beloved Willie Garson, who played Stanford, he was the first gay on it. And at that time, one gay was enough. Can't have too many gays, you know what I'm saying? So he was on there from day one, and he was Carrie's friend, and she's number one on that show. So that was the important relationship. So when I came along, I was Charlotte's friend, which was also important, but certainly not as important as being Carrie's friend, and also being the first gay character from season 1 of Sex and the City. So, and then they put us together, and that made us kind of important together, I guess. And, and then we do season 1 of It Just Like That. And, we were supposed to have this whole storyline that didn't happen. So they had to write for me on the fly, which Michael Patrick King and Julia and Elisa and Susan did brilliantly. And, it was just, it was a lot, but and now, they spread me around. I'm with Seema, I'm with Carrie, I'm with Charlotte, I'm with, with LTW. So it's really great to be everybody's friend, but mostly I am Charlotte's friend. She's my number one. She's the one that I love and adore. And I love Carrie too. Carrie and I have some great stuff. Our relationship really developed, especially in the first season. But yeah, I mean, and then, the last 5 episodes of season 2, I get a storyline for the first time in my life. So, I mean, and it's glorious. It's just beautifully written, and I lucked out on all counts. And so, that's how it's changed. I became more substantial. I feel like and the movies really solidified me. That's what did it. That's why I'm in this iteration, I think. But I mean, I loved my part. It was fun, but it was just kind of during Sex and the City, the 4 seasons that I did do, the last 4 seasons, it was just kind of splashes of me,
Right.
very funny little. And I had, a couple of good episodes as far as more material with Charlotte's second wedding with Harry, but it's grown. He's a richer character. He's deeper. You've got to, if you're going to expand him.
Mm-hmm.
He's evolved a lot more. He, when we first, I mean, I'm so happy I'm not a wedding planner anymore, because I couldn't plan a wedding if you paid me $1 zillion, and I don't care. So being a baker, which is something I actually do in real life, I sell a banana bread to a coffee shop down the street, and I bake, and
Oh
I
my
made
gosh.
sourdough bread. I had a starter and made sourdough bread. I mean, I did all that. So Michael Patrick King's known me for years, and he did want to make me, he wanted a job for me that included something culinary. So he comes out with Hot Fellas bread, which is brilliant. You got the hot guys delivering hot bread. It's like
Yeah.
genius. So it, I was thrilled. I love that part of it. But I remember saying to him, so, I'm hiring all these hot guys, and, Stanford wasn't very happy about it at first. And I was
Right.
like, this is my business. I'm not doing anything. And it was actually the truth, because years ago he'd be, having sex with them, behind the ovens. And now he's, and his whole thing is, I don't shit where I eat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at who these guys are that are working for me, you can tell they're all straight. And that's why he does hire them like
Mm-hmm.
that, because he doesn't want to be tempted. And
Yeah.
that's an evolution for him, and a maturity for him that is
A huge thing for him.
that has happened. Yeah, and I love that. And yeah,
I love that he also made it a little more like authentic to you by being able to add it, like, learn it, like knowing you over time, learning that
oh,
you like to bake and like adding things like that in. I feel like just help
that,
enrich
yeah,
the character
let
and
me,
you.
not a lot, but he'll let me throw in an impression. Like I did a little Marilyn Monroe in the first episode of the second season, and did a little Betty Davis in the first season when I was taking Carrie out of the van. So Michael Patrick King has known me since 1983. We were doing stand up together, so he wrote me this part, and it was just supposed to be a one off. And the first episode was hates it, in the wedding shop, in the Vera Wang wedding shop with Charlotte, and it ended up getting a lot of, I don't know, reaction. And he said, we got a lot of, letters and reaction about it. And I just said, well, great. Am I coming back? And he was like, yes. And then I did.
Well,
So that's
what was so nice was that, and I miss Willie, and he was such a sweetheart.
you
But
too.
for Stanford, what was so nice was that he was kind of the sweet, nice guy. And then for Anthony, when he came on, he was like the fast talker, New Yorker. So it gave
Yeah.
us a nice range of, again, would it be nice to have tons of more, gay characters on the show? Obviously, yes. But it gave us a nice range to show, like, not all gay men act like this way, or not all gay men
No,
act this way. So to
no,
have the two
exactly.
of you on there and be complete opposites, and not
Completely
only
different.
that, and then fall in love, in one of the
Yeah.
movies to get married, I think just solidified everything that I feel like Willie kind of pushed the door open for on the show, which was that
Yes.
you guys live your life, you love men, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He did so much for that. And we just loved you because when you came on, you were just that fast talking New Yorker that we all love, and we just all wanted someone in our life like that.
Yeah.
And so
Michael felt that Charlotte's character really needed someone to push her,
yeah.
to give her a kick in the ass. Do this, do that. You better do this. You better do that. You better get laid. I mean, all that stuff. Ugly sex is hot sex. Do it. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff. I mean,
I love this one.
it's yeah. He writes the writing, and last season the writing for me was incredible, and this season the writing is brilliant. I've got stuff that's being quoted all over the place. So it's great. It's interesting because this season is kind of the opposite of last season, where like I was more present in the first like 7, and then it kind of got less, like an 8, 9, and 10. But this one, it's like I'm in the first one, a good amount in the second one, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6, I'm just kind of in one scene each episode, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 happens, and it's like boom, and it's really nice that it's at the end when Aidan comes back and all that. So it'll get some nice attention, and no one knows about it really. So it's great.
Yeah, I'm super excited because they sent us some screeners, so I know some stuff. So I'm super excited for people.
Well, how many did you get? The first 7?
They limited us, yeah. So like they didn't give us like the last. I don't have the last like 2, but
no, you don't have the last 9, 10, 11. You don't have the last 3.
Yeah, it might be. Maybe it's the last.
No, the last 4. The last 4, because you've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You don't have.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. I think it was like heading. I think they showed. Oh, you know what it was? Because in 6, is it 6 or 7? When they show you like what's to come in the next episode, and you're in like that little trailer, so we could see like where you're going or where the character's going for those episodes.
Yeah, 7 is when it kind of starts, and then it and it was a thrill to get an extra episode. We were only supposed to do 10, and we ended up doing 11, which is. Michael was really able to expand on everybody's story and do those last 2 instead of making it 1 episode, making it 2. So he really got to give everybody, what he wanted to give them.
Yeah. Is there like a difference for you? Because I know this is a very long job. Between Sex and the City, the movies, and then Just Like That, and coming back, but. Do you view that differently than other projects that you've done, like Vineyards and like Stepping Into the Holiday and like other things? Does it feel different because of the amount of time? And
well, it feels different because it's the character that I know really well. I'm familiar with, and I remember the first season last year, everybody was very nervous, because the pressure was high, and I was like, can I step back into this character? Who is he? Do I remember him? And so when the first season aired and people were really happy with the familiarity of him, and they knew him, and they recognized him immediately, and I wasn't any different. That was a good thing for me. I was like, okay, that's done. I'm in there now. So yeah. But the other movies are, like Stepping Into the Holidays, which I enjoy. I love doing those holiday movies. They're fun, but that was one scene. It was a great scene. But you do it, and he was a network executive who was just kind of an asshole. So he was really fun to play. Vineyards was a movie that I did in Sonoma, and I play a lascivious gay drug dealer, which was actually a fun role. And my husband played the father of the main character. It was fun to do. It's those. I usually, when I read it on the page, and it connects with me, and I understand it immediately. I'm like, oh, okay, I know how to do this. I think, yeah. So, and then there's some things you look at and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. There's a lot of things I don't want to do. I'm a beggar that's choosy. I say no to a lot of things and I'm not a workaholic. I love my downtime. I don't know how people do their series and then 4 movies during their hiatus. No, thank you. I need to sleep. And I'm older now. Good night. I never like to get up early. I hate getting up.
Oh, really? Do they ever? Are you on like the earliest call times, or do you get nicer call times?
Sometimes, but I've lucked out that this past year. A lot of it was a little later, but there was some, even the first season, there's early days, there's later days. I do it. I get in there, I'm very disciplined.
Well, is it hard to he's so beloved. Is it hard to do those lines? Because I'll watch a scene with you and it's so, I don't know how you do it. It's so choreographed in a way where it's just like music. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like it comes out like musical almost. How fast you talk, you'll be walking, you could be carrying something, and then yet everything that you're saying, which sometimes for a viewer you could be like 5 seconds behind because you say it so fast and it's so good. But then when we catch up to you, it makes sense. So for me, it's very musical. I don't know why. That's how I view it.
You're right. Comedy. Look, I've been doing stand-up comedy for years. So comedy is music.
Mhm.
I think it's musical. I mean, it's some people look at it mathematically. I look at it as music. I do, and that's it's the pitch of your voice and the what's the word? Not interpretation, but the shit. What is that word? When it's the phrasing. It's the
Yeah.
phrasing. When a singer phrases a song, it's all in. But I also don't know what I'm doing. I just do it. And
That's
Michael Patrick
that's your
King
talent.
is a great director, and sometimes he'll be like, "That's great," and sometimes he'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I know. Let me figure this out." He's such a great actor's director, and
Mm.
he always was. We did stand up together. We would do gigs out of town and be in the car, and he'd throw me like improv ideas, and I'd have to do it in the back seat. He was hilarious. He was always the director and the writer. He just knows what he's doing, and he knows me so well.
Yeah.
And he was someone that always came and got me. We
Hmm.
did a pilot together called A Man's World with Don Johnson for NBC in 2011, and it was brilliant. And they didn't pick it up, but it was I had a phenomenal role in that, and got to work with Don Johnson, and Michael was writing and directing it, and it was amazing. But it didn't happen. It was very depressing for all of us. But like I said, he comes to get me. There are certain people that come get you, and then there are certain people that you've known for years that think you're so talented that don't throw you a crumb and have all the power to do it. So, but that's okay. I'm good.
It's the industry, I think, Some people
Yeah, I
it
mean,
gets to them and some people it doesn't. And I think it's family, it's the way you were raised, it's the kind of person you are. And that, like, as a journalist, that all gets around. Like, we all know, like, we'll hear it, we all know
well,
about it.
sure. Yeah,
And a lot, nobody talks about it, but we all hear about it. And it's definitely an interesting, weird business to be into.
yeah.
But for you, I was always wondering too, because Sex and the City was so big, did you ever want to play like straight roles, and were you worried that you were going to be
No,
cornered
look,
into?
you just kind of give that up as a stand-up comedian.
Hmm.
I never consider myself a gay comedian. I consider myself a comedian who happens to be gay. And when you're a comedian, it's your persona, and you're being who you are. That's it. You're pigeonholed. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, when all the networks would come in, I didn't get the development deals. I didn't get those stand-up shows because I was a homosexual.
Yeah.
I've told the story before. I was booked on Johnny Carson in 1986. I was given a date, and then a week before, the talent coordinator, who loved me, called me up and said, I looked at your tape again, and I think it has a gay edge to it. And this was before I was like completely out too. I mean, publicly, I was always out in my life.
Right.
But I never lied on stage. I just was doing impressions of Betty Davis. So if you didn't know, you were an idiot. But he said to me the week before, I watched the tape again, and you're great, but your act has a gay edge to it, and I think it'll make Johnny nervous. And they pulled the date.
Oh my God.
So that's only one story. Believe me, there's a lot of them. But I finally did end up getting development deals, and I did a few pilots. One of them was Michael Patrick King. So you are pigeonholed. I did a scene in a movie called Quiz Show that Robert Redford directed, and I play a tough Italian guy. I can do that better than anybody.
You were fantastic in
Excuse my boasting, but yeah, I play a really good straight guy.
You were fantastic in that movie. Well, that's why I asked you, because like you were so good in that movie.
Well, I thought from there I'd be getting roles, but you know what? When they know you're gay, and they know you say you're gay, and they know you, this was in the early 90s.
So crazy. Do you
It's not like it is today. It's a little bit better. There's still only room for like three of us, but it's better.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like there's a shift now, like and just like that being so big, is
Yeah,
there a shift now that are you seeing personally, or are you just seeing for other people that you kind of paved the way for?
I'm seeing it for other people. Certainly not
Yeah.
so much for myself, but yeah, for other people for sure. You got a lot of major gay, not a lot, but you got a handful of gay actors, openly gay actors, like Andrew Rannells, who's so incredibly talented. I think everything he does is just, I don't think anybody touches him. He's so good. You got him, you got some people doing it. And I'm glad to see it, I really am. I think I was born too early. I was born too early, but that's okay too. Like I said, I like my downtime.
But see, it's so funny because you think that you were born too early, because I think you were born at a perfect time, because you don't realize.
I wasn't. I was born too early.
But
I had to pave the way, and I had to.
Well, I was going to say
a bit of a sacrificial lamb. So that, and yeah.
I mean, as a sacrificial lamb,
because I'm not a big star, I don't get credited for stuff like that. There are some gay comedians out there that definitely acknowledge me.
Yeah.
This is which I appreciate.
So I guess it's like the blessing and the curse, because I was going to say it's such a blessing for you to be that person, because you don't realize how many people you've changed their life by being that sacrificial lamb. But then it's the curse because it's something that affects you for your career.
Yeah, sure.
For things you want to do.
But look, the fact that this has come back into my life, and just like that, at this stage in my career and at my age, is like the greatest gift. It's the greatest gift. It's just amazing. And because it's financial stability, it's creative gold for me. It's everything. Because sometimes it's one or the other, or sometimes it's neither. So this is glorious. Believe me, I have no complaints at this point, even though I complain all the time. But I really, this is amazing. It's phenomenal. It's just amazing. I get to work with these incredible women. There's all of them, every single one of them. They're just, to get to do scene work with Sarah Jessica is to watch her, and she's at the top of her game in this. And Cynthia and Kristen was so hilarious and wonderful, and and the new girls, Sayrah, I get to work with her, and I've become very close with her. I adore her, and Nicole. Nicole Ari Parker, gorgeous and fun. We sing in the trailer. She came over one time for champagne and caviar. She said, "You have caviar?" I said, "Of course I do. I'm an elderly homosexual." So and Sayrah and I go out a lot. I get to work with these good Cynthia Nixon, who I've been directed by in a play, and I've known probably longer than any of them. It's just great women. It's Karen and Sada. It's and the men. Evan and Chris Jackson, John Corbett. It's a group of great people. So, and then I get to work with some of the greatest writers, and who I think is one of the best director writers in television, Michael Patrick King.
Yes. So what could be better, right?
No, he's like a crutch. It's like I need him. When he's not on set, I'm like, "Where are you? Why aren't you here?" And I remember filming my last scene of last season, and he wasn't there because he was editing. And we had a lovely director, but I really feel like I need him. And I just felt like I was the last scene. Scene it was when I was telling Rock to learn her lines for her bas mitzvah. I was like, "Learn your lines, do this thing, give me that PlayStation, whatever you're doing with that joystick," and I did it, and I just walked away going, "Ugh, that was terrible." But then I watched it, and I was like, it was actually good.
Well, that's a true actor thing, I think. Every actor I've ever interviewed always goes, "Oh, it was horrible," or "I did a bad take," or I didn't like it, or they'll watch themselves and hate it. Which, I think that's a normal. We all kind of self-deprecate.
Yeah. Well, I watch myself, and usually, especially with this series and Sex and the City, I'm like, okay, I like myself on it. I do. There's certain things I've seen me on that I'm like, ugh, brutal. But there's another series that just dropped on Amazon Prime called The Gravesend. It was written and directed by William DeMeo, and Andrew Dice Clay is in it, Chaz Palminteri, and Alma Desante, and Fran Drescher, it's I play. It takes place in the '80s. It's a mafia thing, and I played a childhood friend of this mafia guy that Willie DeMeo plays, named Benny, and I play this guy Franco, who comes back into his life and makes his clothing line, very Italian, like track suits and Brooklyn brand. I make him. I bring it into the mainstream because I'm a clothing designer, and it's a great part because he's a guy is from the neighborhood in Brooklyn. He knows those people. He accepts those people because they accepted him when he was younger and when he was, kind of fag bashed. And, it's a very interesting relationship, and it's a darker show, and it's a role that I've never played, and it's really interesting. And William DeMeo wrote me that. I'm in like 3 out of the 9 episodes, and it's good. It's good. I enjoyed doing that too. So that was a nice kind of thing to do. I like a drama.
I know, and you're so good in them. So like we'll have to like manifest out because like you're so good in everything you do. I've watched so much. Like if I listed everything, you'd be like, oh my gosh, she's a stalker. Because I've watched.
Why? No, go ahead, list. I want to know. I'm testing you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have Vineyards. We have Stepping Into the Holiday. Girls 5 Ever. I watched that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Raven's Home.
What was it?
Raven's Home. You were in Better Things.
Yes, which I love doing.
I'll go through them. So the
Grace Madlon is wonderful. What was that one? What'd you say?
The Gravesend I saw. That one on Netflix that dropped. The Good Fight. You were in The Good Fight.
I did. I love that scene too. I
you
love
were
doing
fantastic in that.
That was a good scene. Yeah, I did some. Okay, Surf's Up. Did you ever see Surf's Up?
I've been watching you a long time. Yeah, All My Life. I think you were in that.
Yeah,
I saw you in that.
I'm not very good in
that. The Queen.
What was that one?
AJ and the Queen.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's like a while ago. So I remember that one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mom. You were in Mom. You were great in that.
All right. You've proven yourself. You win. You get an A.
I passed.
You do.
No, but you're just like such a fantastic actor. And like I said, I love you so much. To circle back, and I know you have other projects, so like I want to kind of like tease those a little bit, but to circle back to and just
I don't. You'll have to remind me what they are because
I'll remind you.
I think we just talked about all of them. But
I'll remind you. But I love your character so much, and so many people do, and like you kind of brought it up before, but a lot of us quote you because you have some of the best quotes.
Yeah.
I think.
So. I mean, this coming up in the next episode. There's a couple of things that they already put it out on the Instagram, so the lines are there. But for tomorrow, there's I just have one scene. It's a luncheon scene with the girls, and some funny there's like 3 quotable things in this one little thing for me. It's amazing what they do.
But what does it feel like because this show is so big and people love so many aspects of the show? What does it feel like for you? You're the one that everyone quotes, though. I mean, like, yes, there'll be quotes from some other characters here and there, but you are like the go-to meme quoter.
Yeah, I get a lot of memes, and I get.
What does that feel like for you as the actor?
It feels, it feels great. It feels that, like in this season, especially, I mean, the beginning starts off kind of more present, and then it kind of, I mean, I'm in every episode, but even if it's one scene, the writing for me is what creates those memes and those quotable lines that I'm quoted on. So it keeps me, it makes people think that I'm in it more than I am. Although I do get a lot of things, more Anthony, which I love. But then I just don't say anything because I'm like, just wait, because it's coming. And there's a lot of real estate on the show. There's a lot of storylines. So to be included in the last 5 episodes to build mine I'm lucky. It's phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, if that feels really good, and it feels like I feel important on it, which is nice. But deep down, do I feel important on it? No.
You are, well, I could say you are important on it.
I mean, because it's about the women, and it was like, it was like I did The View for 20 years off and on, and it was all those rumors that I was going to replace one of the women. It was never going to happen because it's a woman's show.
Yeah.
But this is different because I'm part of the show. I'm part of it just like that. I'm part of Sex and the City. But it's essentially about women. That is the focus of it. And sometimes I'm, one of the girls who's one of the boys. So, I get to do it all. And because I'm a gay man, I get to engage with these women the way their romantic halves don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to tell the truth, bluntly and funnily and very funny.
Very, very blunt. Yeah.
So, obviously we're in episodes coming up with a full storyline that will lead to the finale that we haven't seen yet. Is there anything that you could tease about? Obviously, we all know Aidan is back. We all know John's back because there were pictures everywhere. And unfortunately, you film in New York City, which is great because we love it and it's real. Yeah. But then there's 500,000 people in New York City. So
film out, photos. If you film out, so they filmed outside. John and SJ. So, the jig was up. I filmed one thing outside with my storyline, but there's no paparazzi there for me. They don't care about me. So that's where you feel unimportant. But at the same time, good. I don't want people knowing. I don't want people knowing it. I want them to see it. I want them to discover it. So I like that.
What's coming for Anthony that you can tease for the last few episodes? Anything? Is he happy? Can we say that?
He's scared and he's happy and he's trying to break through his old habits. Yeah. And he is pushed because of what's happening to him emotionally. Yeah. It's great because the story kind of does this. It just goes, it's like there's like 4-5 parts to it that are like, that happen in an instant. So and you get included and a seat at the table with all those other storylines.
Yeah.
That's what's really lovely. Yeah. But I lost weight and worked out. So that's another hint. I had to get in better shape at 63 years old.
But 63. Are you?
Yes, you can Google it. What am I?
Oh my God. You
knew that. You know everything I've done. You don't know I'm 63 years old?
Well, I never really look up age, but like you don't look like that. You don't look 63 at all.
I look up age.
Oh my gosh, I don't. I would have like 50s, like maximum. Like I never would have guessed in 60s.
Yeah.
Damn, you good.
Now it's 50s, and it's also depressing.
You look amazing.
No work yet, but it's coming. No. I'll do the neck.
Amazing.
The first thing I'm going to do is the neck.
Well, that's what everyone says, that the neck goes first.
But this is a 63-year-old neck. It's not bad.
No, you have you don't even have a wrinkle. You have nothing.
No, not yet. But it's starting to crinkle a little bit here. I got just a little bit of neck. The neck makes you look refreshed. I want to tape it up like they did in the old school days. I want to tape.
Yeah, like when they used to like pull it up.
They taped it.
Yeah.
Tape the neck. Next year I'm gonna be like, either do the neck or just go tape up the neck. Get some duct tape.
You don't need it. You don't need it at all, though. You look amazing. Oh my God! And like I never would have guessed that age at all for you.
It's awful.
Well, okay. So that's what you can tease for the show. Obviously, it's airing on HBO. Well, now they're calling it Max.
It's on Max.
So Max, and then it's on HBO too. I think like in tandem, or you can watch.
Is it?
Day. That's what I've heard. That like you could, but I have Max, so I just stream it on there every week. And there's also a documentary that came out, I think, after last season, so people can watch that, which is really cool.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Talk so much about just coming back together and what it was like and just how amazing it was. And you get to
people love that documentary. And it's a good documentary.
It's amazing. So then, really quickly, I heard rumors. So I don't know if this is true. So I wrote it down. I heard that there is pre-production of a show or movie called Down Below, and then Messy, and then Can't Let Go. Are you
Down Below was an animated movie that I did.
Okay.
It was a musical that I don't have a song in, and I told them they were idiots. I said, "You're a fool that you have," and I don't sing. I sing a little bit, but I was like, I play a crab who's the manager of a hotel, because it's called Under the Boardwalk. It's Down Below? No, Under the Boardwalk.
I wrote down Below, so maybe that's what it said online. Maybe
that's an animated movie, and I said, "Why don't I have a number?" It's too late now, but I'm like, "You're fools. You're fools. You should have done a Be My Guest where I take everybody around the resort.
That
And they didn't. So, they'd rather, I love them, but they'd rather hear Bobby Cannavale sing than me. So go ahead.
Okay. So you're in that. So that's true. So that's coming out. And then are the other two
Pat Cooper, I'm always complaining. Go ahead.
Are the other two true? Messy and then Can't Let It Go?
Messy is a movie that I did. That I play a editor of an interview magazine, like an interview like magazine, which was really great. And Can't Let It Go was an independent movie that I did that I love to do. It's all about the effects of the Trump election on a group of people that don't really know each other. It's almost very Robert Altman-esque, written and directed by Roy Super, and it's great. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, independent films, that hopefully they'll see the light of day, and maybe they won't. Although Can't Let It Go, James Ivory is an executive producer on it, so they're entering it in festivals and stuff like that. They're doing the same thing with Messy. Messy just finished a little while ago, so they're editing that. But yeah, I mean, when someone writes me a part and they go, "Come on, these independent movies, it's no money, but if it's a good part, who cares?"
Yeah.
Look, I don't. If it's a scripted piece and it's decent to good, I will do it. I just, the reality shows I won't go near. I've been offered a million of them, guesting my own. No. But yet I love competition shows. I did The Masked Singer because they don't get into your personal life. You just put your outfit on and you go out and you sing. And I did really well and I had a blast. That was a thrill. But like Dancing with the Stars, as much as I love that show more than anything, never. It's all rehearsal. It's all you do is rehearse.
Yeah, it's like
get injured.
And I know, and that's the other thing is everyone gets injured. So I always go, I wonder why you say yes to this.
People they don't know what they're getting
into.
When you watch it, you know what you're getting into. It's all rehearsal. If you know the business, it's all rehearsal. You do your thing and you're judged publicly. So if you don't want that, don't do it. So and I'm too old to dance. I feel like, and I loved her to death, but I feel like Horace Leachman, you feel like you're 90 and I got best dancer in high school, but now forget it. And ballroom dance is a whole other thing, but I love that show.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree with you because I would never want to go on it, and I love that show, but it would be fun to see you on it. I'm not gonna lie, because of personality and everything, but
yeah, no, I don't think I can ballroom dance. Maybe being funny would keep me on for a week or two, and then I'd be like, "See ya, there goes the comic." But it's and it's also, as an Italian American, the few development deals that I've had always had to deal with, like my Italian family, and no one's interested in that. No one's interested in the Italian American story as a comedy or as a drama or as a dramedy, unless it's, of course, a mob thing like Gravesend and like The Sopranos was. So they don't want to see it. It's difficult, that makes me sad. But what are you going to do?
Are you ever working on any of your own stuff, or are you just?
I gave up. I was, and I'm like, those were some ideas I had a while back. That actually one of them had two development deals. This one idea of me playing twins, identical twins, straight one and a gay one, and about a split family, and how the twins just hate each other, but yet they're so much alike. They're both like nuts and crazy and promiscuous and can't commit. And one lives with the mother, one lives with the father. It was a whole thing. It was a really great thing. And Imagine had it first, and then that didn't happen. And then Lionsgate had it, and they loved it. They really tried to sell it, and they couldn't sell it. It's interesting. It's something that, I mean, even someone like Sebastian Maniscalco, who's selling out stadiums, and this comedian that, has such a force. He had a pilot about his Italian father. It didn't go. And if he can't do it, and that's why he made the movie.
Right.
So at least he got that done. But television wise, they just, even, and not just networks. I mean, like all of them, it's like all of them. It's cable and streaming. And so maybe that'll change, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we have ways to go. I feel like on so many things,
Yeah.
which is sad because the entertainment industry, you guys are supposed to represent all of us, like, right? That's what we all love, is everybody next to a show and different reasons, but we definitely have some long ways to go. But that's crazy though, for an Italian American not to be able to sell something, because there's so many Italian Americans. I mean,
yeah. And we're in the 30s and 40s, Italians were considered people of color. And then they dug their heels in because they wanted to be American and accepted, and then they became white people. But if you really look at it, the history of it, this great article in the New York Times called When Italians Became White. And it's the whole history of, especially in New Orleans, there were like 13 Sicilians that were lynched. It is like a lot of, but they dug in their heels and wanted the acceptance, so they became mainstream, and they made sure of that. Black people couldn't do that. It was, triply worse for them.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting story, the Italian American thing, and it's like I just saw an incredible production of a show. There was an Italian family. And I wouldn't replace one person in that show. They were all magnificent. I was crying. It was gorgeous. But nobody in that Italian family was Italian in real life. One was Cuban, one was Middle Eastern, one was white boy. I don't know what, so which, to me, I think anybody should play anything. I'm so good with all that. Gay, straight, whatever. But I can't play Middle Eastern. I can't play Puerto Rican. I can't play Cuban. I can't. Italians, they're not allowed because they became white people. So it's a mixed bag of things. So that's my problem with all that. It's like, I can't, but they can play Italian. There's a lot of shit going on with us. But anyway, I am very proud of being Italian American, and Michael wrote me one of the greatest Italian American characters in the world. And Michael knows how to cast. He's made this whole thing so inclusive. But yes, non-binary should be played by non-binary. Trans should absolutely be played by trans. But gay straight is a different thing for me. It's like, because you can't have everything. It's like, if you can't ask someone if they're gay or straight.
Yeah.
In an audition. So if you cast someone that's best for the job and they're straight or they're gay, for me though, in a perfect world, yes, I would want gay people to play gay people all the time, because the balance of roles, there's a lot more gay roles. I mean, a lot more straight roles than there are gay roles. And until that balance happens, I'd rather see gay people playing gay people. But I'm tolerant of it and accepting of it if someone is the best for the job. And again, you can't ask people whether they're gay or straight in an audition. Right. It's not a good thing.
No, I think if someone asked me that, I would just walk out. And and someone said that to me, I'd be like, why is it your business?
I remember years ago, I did an off-Broadway show, and I was the lead in it. I helped the director cast it. And the two guys there was 3 gay characters, and there was 4 gay characters, and the two of them we cast were straight, and I had no idea when they were auditioning. So you can't.
Mm-hmm. But again, I like the fact that you can't, because first of all, I mean, it's extremely inappropriate, but the fact that you can't do that leads to, I feel like sometimes some of the best performances ever, because it's about the acting. Like, who cares? Like, what?
Okay, so like, Sarah Paulson got some shit for playing Linda Tripp because she put the heavy suit on it, did it. She was magnificent. you're not going to get that performance if it's someone else. So to me, so what?
Yeah. I was surprised about that because I feel like men have been doing that for a very long time where they put suits on and and other women have done it. I don't know why they picked specifically on Sayrah for it. But
it was another role
I didn't understand that.
They did the same thing. It was at the same time.
It was Renee Zellweger. They were picking on her for putting, because I forgot who she was playing, but she had a suit on. She put a little bit of weight on, but that she had a suit on, and they were, attacking her. She was playing a real woman in the same situation. But I was like, but guys have done that forever. Like, I don't understand. And so have other women. So I don't know why they picked on that. I was very confused by that. It's weird what people kind of judge. It's very odd.
I know.
It's scary. It makes the industry very scary. The industry that you're in. It's a very scary, weird.
I'm in my third act, so it's almost over.
Okay, well, it can't be almost over because we love you so much. But like I said, I'm so excited to have you on. I would talk to you literally for an hour. I was like, yeah, I'll watch the time, and we're went over. But I adore you so much, and I think you're such a talented actor. And like I said, I've watched so much of your work, and you can play anything. So for anyone listening or anyone sees this, you can play anything.
Well,
I hope more comes to you.
Look, I have so many gay male actor friends that play straight people all the time and brilliantly. And they pride themselves on it, that they can go back and forth, and they should be allowed to, because like I said, the balance of roles, there's a lot more straight roles than there are gay roles. Because some people will say, well, then gay people shouldn't be able to play straight people if straight people can't play gay people. No. The balance is way different. Way different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more straight roles than there are gay roles. And, that's the way it is.
Well, I agree with everything that you said. I love you so much.
But if there's anything in there that you see that will cancel me, take it out.
I will. I want to give you one last final question, though. I always like to give everyone a chance. I get the honor of speaking with you. And like I said, a huge fan my whole life. But not everyone gets to talk to you, and you have so many fans. So I just wanted to give you a minute if there's anything that you want to say to your fans that have followed you like me from movie to movie and project to project, and I will literally support you if you were doing anything walking the street with a trash bag in comedy there. So
I'm always surprised when there's someone that knows everything or knows a lot of it. I am. So
many of us.
So for the ones that are out there that actually do, and they don't just know me from Sex and the City, and they know other stuff and my past and my stand-up and my Broadway career, that is the height of flattery and the height of just making me feel really good about what I do. But I think, look, there's a lot of people that love me, and there's a lot of people that don't. But as Betty Davis said, if you're just liked, oh, he's good, I like him, you're in trouble. You must be loved and hated. Betty Davis had that story where a woman came up to her and said, oh, Miss Davis, I love you. You're so magnificent, but my husband hates you. So, I think you need that balance. I do. I think you need both. But, and also, look, knock wood, I read everything because I flood myself. I read all the comments, and it's very rare that I get a shitty comment. I've get a few, but it's very rare compared to a lot of other people. It's very fascinating to see. And so that's kind of a good thing. But when I do get a hateful comment, I'm like, okay, I just let it lie there. What am I going to do? Reply back? Any Twitter comment or Instagram? I'm not gonna clap back at them. You let it die on the vine. You leave it, and that's my advice to everybody coming up. Actors that are younger than me, actors that are my age, just let it die on the vine. You do not need to be fighting with people publicly on Twitter and Instagram. Let it die. Or Facebook. Let it die. That's what I do. So what? What's it going to do? And who are they with their 2 followers? I mean, who cares? What? It just doesn't matter. I'm doing the work. I'm doing what I do. They're not. You let it die, you know? And I, it doesn't even fill me with any kind of like nothing. There's no like, I want to, nope. I'm like, okay, that's how they are. I'll check. Who's this person? Oh, okay. Move on.
Yeah. No, and I think that's really good advice. I think for anyone, like even as a journalist, I'll put something out and I'm critical of myself.
You'll get your comments. Yeah.
Yeah, and get the comments, but I do the same. I try to do the same thing where it's like, listen, can't make everybody happy. And I kind of agree with the quote that you gave earlier. One of my journalism teachers back in the day, like, I graduated from from college almost 20 years ago. But I remember he said, you're not doing it right unless you're having comments that are both good and bad. And then I understand that. And then he said, because comments that are good, you'll get, it's few and far between. It's, a lot. It doesn't take much effort for someone to tell you how great you are, but to really fire someone up that they're pissed, he's doing something right.
It's a good thing.
Yes, he always told me that.
What's the Betty Davis quote is, dare to be hated. Dare to be hated. So you need to dare yourself to be hated. And when you read everything, you're flooding yourself with the good and the bad. So it just kind of numbs you out and washes over you after a while. It's called flooding. It's like if you have a problem with like germs or something, and a doctor will flood you with things that you think are germy, like a dirty sock. And the more you do that, the more you flood someone with that, it's a way of helping them kind of numb out to it and just kind of get over it. So it's the same thing. You flood yourself.
Yeah. And I think like for you and like maybe, maybe for you, but for me, it was time, like I've been doing this since I was 12 and I'm 36. And I think the years of kind of reading through it, you just, at the beginning, I feel like you want to defend yourself and say stuff. And then after a while, you're like, I've been there, done.
Yeah. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the younger ones. They're the ones that want to clap back. Don't do it.
Yeah. Just not worth it. It's not worth the energy.
Please.
But I'm so excited to see you in the last few episodes of the season. I mean, I don't want the season to go by so fast. I feel like
that's just so you've seen the first 6, I think.
Yes, I think 6 was the last one, and then
so you got 7, 8, 9
for 7.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is what.
And then airing, they've only aired 3, right? So the 4th one would be airing this weekend,
tomorrow,
or tomorrow, Thursdays. So tomorrow would be episode 4. So we have a couple episodes, so we get to see your big arc and all of the stuff that's happening, and the return, which we all knew about because of the photos. But I can't wait to see what they do with Anthony and like what happens.
And I also, I love doing the game shows. I've done like almost every season of Pyramid and when Match Game was on. And to tell the truth, I love the game shows. That I'll do because that's classic. Right? No, you feel like Paul Lynde or Charles Nelson Riley. I love Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Celebrity Jeopardy. I've done all of it. I love that stuff.
I love all of that stuff. And then does that go to charity for whoever wins?
Yeah. I always try to pick a different charity.
You're an amazing person.
All right.
Can people stay updated on all of your stuff? So because you have 3 projects coming out, you're going to be on TV. You have a little mini like press thing that you're doing with the last few episodes that are coming out. So where can everyone keep updated with all of the things that you're doing? Because
you mean like you can go to my website, which is hardly updated, so don't waste your time.
So just go
through
there.
My Instagram, I guess, which is my Instagram is at MACANTONE, and so is my Twitter. They're both the same, at Ma Cantone. So Perfect. It's Mac Antone. Yeah,
love it. So that's
someone took my name. How about someone took my name? It's like this.
Of course.
It's like, why would you take my name? Go take Brad Pitt's. What are you, pathetic? Taking my name? Boom.
Well, so
you'll make bucks off of that. All right, my dear.
Well, I love you so much. So everyone can go follow you there. They can catch you new episodes of And Just Like That on Max on Thursdays. And then we have little tease of a big storyline coming out for you for the rest of the second half of the season. And then have 3 projects coming out. For a guy who wants to relax, you have a lot of stuff coming out. You got, and then the press tour and then the games. So to stay updated.
Pyramid,
Follow you on
You gotta
social.
watch that one. The Ken Jennings stuff is
So
really
excited. Well, I think I follow you already, but if I don't, I'll check. I'm the worst with it, but I'll
I'm
check.
bad at it. Too.
I'm gonna message. I'll message you because I'm gonna
Okay.
watch it and then
All right. Good.
message you some
Let me know
love.
what you
with
think.
it. I'm so excited.
right.
But
All right.
thank you so much for joining
Thank
me,
you.
and talking to
Thanks
me.
so much.
I just adore you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a great rest of
All
the day.
Bye, my dear.
Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to Mario Cantone talk about what it was like returning to play Anthony for And Just Like That in season 1 and, of course, season 2. He gave us a few little teasers as to what you could expect for his storyline as the rest of season 2 continues to air. Make sure you head over to HBO Max to catch all of season 1 and season 2. New episodes are available on Thursdays, so make sure you go and check it out. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're updated on all of our latest podcasts, and head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe so you're updated on all of our video content.